Today, we're touring one of the most creative spaces we've ever stepped foot on here in Franklin, Tennessee, hidden on 10 private acres. It feels like you've just stumbled upon Hogwarts, but for songwriters, as this isn't just a piece of real estate, this is an entire creative world. This is where songwriters come and they lock themselves away for days, weeks, and sometimes months to write their hit singles and albums, as Taylor Swift actually recorded her first album here alongside other artists like Luke Combs, Jack Harlow, Neil Diamond, Dolly Parton, Carrie Underwood. I mean, I'm probably just gonna name every single person because they've all walked either the halls here or the studio that we're gonna get to, but this is the Manor. So this has been handcrafted and curated over 31 years by the current owner, Robin, who purchased this place back in the early 90s. So you're gonna see a combination of history and then that sky bridge combining what is new, which is of course the new construction build here in 2023. The home itself is both whimsical and grand. I mean, just take a look at the entrance here. It's so open and this giant post beam construction, all either gravity set or on shoulder joints. I love that historic engineering with obviously the current from here in 2023. It just feels like one cohesive thought. Like this could have all been done in a couple of years, but this was done over 31. So makes sense because Robin was a touring artist for 30 years. So again, the storyline here is true and true, but I wanted to mention the carport set off with the chandelier, which takes you over to the studio, or you can take a nice walk, which is all covered out here in the back. But all these smooth pebbles take you up this natural stone entry into the main entrance. So we've got one dual chandelier hanging above and another set here. I mean, this goes up to 34 feet. This fireplace just makes a huge statement when you step into this home. And if you follow that natural stone all the way up, your eyes take you to those black exposed trusses, and then during the evening, through that octagonal window, it actually casts like this sun clock-like effect here on the stone. And if you look through the skylights, you can actually see the peak from that very whimsical library, which we're gonna see later here in this tour. I mean, there's so many cool little hideaway spots to grab a book, be by yourself, or obviously write music. I mean, that is what the Dark Horse Estate is about. But now here on the mantle, that was actually pulled from the cabin, which is nearly 200 years old, which we'll tour later. And now here, again, this is the modern part of the home, right? But they made it weathered and added soul with these weathered poplar beams that we see everywhere here in this space. And just through these windows, you can see the party barn. Post-beam construction out there. Once again, the theme is very, very cohesive and just well done. This home, as you're probably picking up at this point, was made for entertaining. I mean, look at this dining table. You're gonna do some entertaining if you have a dining table like this. So right here, you've got seating for 14 people, and this is all diffused right here with this box light hanging above. More of those beams once again, and a great outdoor space. And this is all connected, so people can come and go from the party barn into the kitchen, just flow very easily. But now over here in the kitchen, this is the home you wanna come to for Thanksgiving. I mean, just look at the counter space that you have here, just the volume it takes up here in this room, it's huge. But you've got everything built into the island itself, so it's functional on top of it being large. So you've got the microwave, warming drawers, dishwasher, all built into the island itself, and softly lighting the room is this sculpture-like wood-paneled fixture hanging above, which is nicely diffusing the light. So over here, again, you're entertaining a lot of people, so you have to have a commercial-grade refrigerator and freezer. It's just huge, and the stainless steel matches all the appliances in here. So this is another custom piece by Robin. This took him months and multiple renditions of doing it. So this is the real thing. This is mounted into the wall. This is heavy, so this isn't going anywhere, and it's just above your Wolf dual range right here as well. So all the hardware, that Colorado rustic energy, again, matching the vibe of the poplar and the rustic backsplash here in the kitchen. And then you've also got a pantry. And just a little detailing as well above the door, that diamond shape. Everything is just so well done and everything is built out. You even have exposed beams in the pantry. So these spaces that you don't even see, there's details. So super fun. Everywhere you look, there's another detail and another story. But I was like, is she alive? Just, are you enjoying those muted gray tiles? She's like, they're just tiles, dude. She's like, they're just cold. All right, so over here we've got our first bedroom of 10 here at the Manor. Well, I guess here at the Estates, because we've got more bedrooms over at the studio. I love this aesthetic right here. It just feels like you're walking into a cabin, but obviously everything is super modernized. Little seating arrangement just behind your king-size bed. Just want to give you guys an idea for how voluminous this space is. And of course, you've got outdoor seating arrangement here that's just all covered. There's so many great moments in this home just to get secluded, be by yourself, and enjoy what you're here for, which is obviously a retreat or if you're living here full time. So many great spots, but over here, you got a little wet bar moment. And you can actually see the old original cabin through this window, which is super fun. And behind me, you're probably wondering, what is this glass right here? That's actually over into the shower. So again, these thoughtful touches that you don't normally think of are done here in this space. So it just lets that natural light push into what would be just a dimly lit shower. So kind of cool, but then you've got this archway right here, all done in that stone, once again, that we're gonna see throughout this home. The shower, which I just mentioned, all in that muted gray glossy tile. And then the dual vanity with tons of closet space. So I love how all the closet space is behind all these fogged glass pieces. So it just kind of, again, creates for more privacy with your personal belongings and also just declutters everything, honestly, so you don't have to see your clothes and hangers. But outside, we're gonna loop around, and here's where the tour is gonna pick up a bit. So we've got so much to get to. Again, just over 14,000 square feet here at the Manor. So now heading down this hallway, which feels a bit like an art gallery. It's all lit up naturally with these picture frame windows, and then it gets all dark and more intimate and cozy over here in this little cove. And also with the paint choice, these large format chairs. And Neil Diamond is actually what put Dark Horse recording on the map. So he recorded Tennessee Moon just over here in the main house before they built the big one in the early 2000s, where Taylor Swift actually recorded her debut album. She did that here. So a lot of cool history, a lot of cool music history here at Dark Horse Recording. So it's Female Vocalist of the Year, longest charting album on Billboard 200 recorded by Taylor Swift. So I thought that was so cool. And you're gonna see a lot of artists, whether before or after, hanging on these walls. Jack Harlow, Carrie Underwood, Matchbox 20. I mean, I'm just doing a pan of who's around us. Reba McEntire, Tim McGraw. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Your favorite artist has probably been here. And then over here, we've got a very modernized powder room as you step down. And you really can just get a history lesson as you walk down. A lot of entertainment space on this lower level. Keith Urban recorded Defying Gravity, which debuted at #1. Carrie Underwood's been here. And then of course another Taylor Swift album at the base of the stairs. But now it feels like we're stepping into the lower level of like a castle somewhere with all these barreled ceilings that we have. And then we have 2 dual stacked washer and dryers with the same hardware and cabinets that we found upstairs. And storing your favorite wines and Chardonnays behind this integrated lit up cabinet. To open it all up, you have these very artisanal handles. These all mimic tree branches. The same rustic vibe and that ironwork throughout this entire home is very true, just off your wet bar. So whether you need coffee, a shot, martini, or wine, they got it all set up here off the wet bar and island space. You'll notice all the fixtures in here, whether hanging from the ceiling or the sconces or the floor lamps, all take on this geometric look. And just so your voices don't echo upstairs, all the walls down here are either upholstered or they're hanging from the ceilings, which you typically only see in studios, not in lower levels. So I thought that was a really cool idea, and only an artist would think of that type of thing, which makes sense knowing the owner. So here we have more of that modern aesthetic, again, rustic energy brought into this full bathroom, because we do have 2 more bedrooms down here with full suites. So in here, it's very livable. And this, I was told, was brought in and imported. And it took like 3 or 4 grown men to carry this down here because it weighs a ton, literally. And of course, the entertainment system all set up down here. And I just love all the different architectural lines in here with the curves and all the beams meeting each other. So well done. It's also integrated into the actual wall as well. So it's, again, all very intentionally done here. You can walk straight out to your grounds here on this open patio space. And here in the evenings and night when that sun dips down, all the lights twinkle and turn on through these trees. We've got 2 queen-size beds set up here just off your full kitchen. So this is all in your suite. You have all this, again, room to move around, and those same rustic hardware follows in here with the darker cabinets this time. And you've got a full bathroom in here. Again, everything is hidden behind these pieces of fogged glass and the water closet, and again, that rustic energy brought into here as well, just all modernized. Now we're gonna push across. I'm gonna show you guys this really cool moment. There's a garage door that completely opens up. So this was originally set up to be like an in-home gym, as you have another full wet bar here. Just imagine grabbing coffee in the morning, opening this up. You could get a workout in and just enjoy the grounds here. So I thought this was a really, really cool moment just to have this all opened up and again, connected to the party barn. So everything is interconnected, but I just love the curvature in here. It's just so well done. We're gonna step into one more bedroom here before we head upstairs. So we're gonna do the entire new part of the home first and then the older part. So this bedroom is a little bit different as you only have one bed set up here. So this is the king size bedroom set up and it's all opened up and you can divide it off with these curtains. But I like how it's just so open in here because it's just you, if it's a couple here, you guys can just share this open space and it just makes it, again, more airy. Walk-in shower. Again, keeping on with that modern rustic vibe with all the doors, everything seems weathered. And again, it's been here forever, but it's all brand new as it was built and completed in 2023. Again, just notice all the pieces of furniture as we walk around, how detailed and how cohesive everything is. All right, Tikka, we're gonna have to make you move again. She's just been like camping down in every place we go to and just hanging out with us. It's actually so fun because we actually live in Nashville, so rarely do we ever get to travel with our dog Tikka because, you know, obviously we're always hopping on a plane. So I'm so excited that she's actually here with us and we're gonna do something really fun with her later on here on the grounds. But now I'm gonna meet you guys at the top of this staircase and we're gonna go upstairs. Now wrapping up this custom iron staircase, you notice the two steps here are all underlit. So during the evenings and night, kind of just warms the space back up. We've got so many people that have recorded here, from Faith Hill, Carrie Underwood, again, Jack Harlow actually recorded Lovin' on Me, you know, the song that goes, I'm vanilla, baby. People say that I look like him, or he looks like me, rather, so I don't know. But you got Dolly Parton, Big and Rich, Hunter Hayes. I'm just like name dropping everyone right now, but that's okay. As we make it to the final stair set, this is the library. So this is Lydia's favorite part of the home, maybe Tikka's. Actually, I think Tikka's is gonna be the river because we're actually sitting maybe a football field's length away from the Harpeth, which is so unique. So you've got these bookshelves, which almost go the entire height of the ceilings, and who doesn't love this? And you can open this door and go on this Juliet balcony, super special. And your views are just unobstructed. You can see some of the rolling hills from up above. So again, readers, writers, they love nooks, being secluded and hidden. So you can go up this spiral staircase, which is obviously all custom because you see that Dark Horse logo on every single backing of every step, all the way up there with more exposed beams on those vaulted ceilings. I mean, how cool is that? This is such a special place. And during the evenings, you can actually see, you can probably see it right now actually, look at this. Yeah, you can see it coming out. So underneath the stairs, as that sun comes through, it filters through the back of that step and you can see the horses just get stretched out. I actually saw that by mistake as I was filming the other day. So now stepping inside your primary suite, we have yet another nook over here with elevated views of your grounds, and you can close this all off here with the curtains for more privacy. I'm just curious, like how many nooks are in this home? So count them as we tour this home because I'm actually curious. First thing in the morning, you can grab a cup of coffee here. You've got a full kitchenette set up, and then acting as a bit of a room divider is this fireplace. So they can be shared on both of the conversation side of your primary suite, and then of course, obviously the bedroom. And I love what otherwise would just be a blank, white, open room. They've added so much character back to it. So we've got the post beam construction again, and that natural stone carried in up here. It's just so well done, and again, very intentional. So now out here, you got more of that heavy timber frame construction on your covered private deck. Just amazing views of your grounds as you step out, seating arrangement, and I love the exposed timber trusses out here. It's really impressive what they've built. But now we're gonna step into the bathroom. Again, that rustic energy brought in. And look at this, they've got these railroad spikes being used as bath towel hooks right here on these posts. So that was a really fun, again, rustic energy brought into the bathroom. Once again, the freestanding tub, you can create more privacy, just like that nook right here. Dual vanity setup with more of those rustic sconces, and this shower. I mean, look at how large this is. This is like a car wash for humans. So you've got 3 different shower heads and the wand. They've actually cut out an additional box right there just to create a better rainfall. And then around here, you'll notice more skylights up here. And from an aerial shot of this home, you'll really get an idea of how many skylights are brought into this space. Just to, again, natural light is so important. So I love those cutouts they've done. And all of the lighting is integrated in every single one of these closet spaces. It's just kind of, again, creating for less clutter. They've got that really boutique style right here behind all these doors. We've got a second story for the closet for seasonal clothes. And then behind lid, we've got a full washer and dryer. But now we're gonna step out of the primary suite. And now I think it's time we tour the older part of the home. So we're gonna get a bit of a history lesson and then obviously see where the old studio was. So here the sky bridge actually is literally connecting us from the new to the old. So it's bridging those 2 eras together. You'll notice the acoustic panels on the ceilings and the walls. Only an artist would think of that type of thing, but it works so well here in this entertainment space here on the sky bridge. Got the pool table, front and center. And then on each side with these glass walls, you'll notice they're all done at a slight angle, just like some of the construction that we've seen around the home. Now over here, you'll notice below us is the original studio. So that's the bungalow, which we're about to tour. And then over here, we've got a full kitchenette, as this is the entertainment space. More of that custom wrought iron on the railings that we're gonna see everywhere. And of course, you can divide portions of this home off if you're entertaining. So tons of glass everywhere, the grand piano in the center, but first I'm gonna take you guys into this bedroom. Another powder room here, just off the bedroom, that timber frame construction coming in, even here, that rustic energy once again. And looks like Tikka's already chosen her room. Is this where you're gonna sleep tonight? You're gonna hang out here? That looks like a comfy rug, by the way. And that's probably why she chose it. She's like, leave me alone, man. Like, the first you're commenting on the tile I'm sitting on, now the rug. Anyway, king size bed, low profile, once again, at that rustic energy. But we are now in the past right now. So this is built in the 1830s, disassembled in Kentucky and brought here. Again, notice the door. I need to call this out. Look how heavy and thick this door was. I mean, they were trying to keep the cold out, and you've got all this really cool different species of wood here, all carved nicely to make up this really handmade door, which I think complements the rest of the home and what they did here. So this cabin, like I said, was reassembled and brought down from Kentucky here in Franklin, Tennessee. And this is original glass work right here. So all this was done, and that's just how he found the house. So I thought that was a really cool detail, and you wouldn't expect to see that in something this historical. But off your bedroom, you can now step over into your bathroom and closet area. You got the double vanity set up, more of the closets, again, all behind that fogged glass, and the freestanding tub, all in that hammered copper. And then you also step down into your walk-in shower. More skylights. Again, notice the skylights everywhere. They're bringing natural light into these spaces that typically wouldn't have it. I mean, you're not gonna have a skylight in a home from the 1830s. You're just not gonna have it. But I love all the beams in here. Everything's exposed. Super fun. Now stepping back out onto this wide hallway, this home really just does feel like a resort. I mean, you've got this carport right here. You can open these doors and get picked up, dropped off here, and just get sheltered from obviously the elements, and all that timber frame construction is just so unique as it transitions into here. All that vaulted ceiling is just one continuous take from the outside in. I love this historical component right here. So first, I gotta call out the centerpiece of this room, which is the grand piano. But look at this. So all these beams are numbered. So this is the way they did it back in the day, so they can memorize which post went where when they were reconstructing these pieces. So I thought that was a really unique piece, and I didn't know what it meant until Robin showed us that. So I thought that was really cool. But then back through here is more of the living quarters and living space, but this is where Robin actually raised his family, which is so cool. Imagine being like growing up here. This is wild. Every step is hundreds of years old. almost 200 years. So you've got one bedroom up here, which is super cute, and then another just over here. And this is like all freestanding. There's nothing underneath us. This is all post beam construction. It's like this catwalk connecting both places. I know I said catwalk, Tikka. I'm sorry. It could be a dog walk. I saw her coming over right when I said catwalk. We've got another bedroom up here as well. Again, very cute. I mean, look at this door. He said he designed these like Hobbit doors for his kids, because this is kind of the Hogwarts retreat for songwriters, right? And this angle right here looking down onto the piano is so cool. This is so cool, right, Tikka? Speak. Speak. Good girl. Sometimes she listens. Okay, we're almost there, Tikka. We're gonna let her go to the Harpeth River here in a minute, but we've got a little bit more of the tour to do. So we're gonna wrap around here, around the grand piano, into this living space right here. I just love this wall of glass. And again, that's where that motor court wraps around on this portion of the home. Just all the exposed beams once again. And look at this, this is so cool. So this is their dining room. How cool is this? And each block, I mean, this would take a crane to lift each one. These are so extremely heavy, making up this fireplace, and the mantle is just beautiful. It really does feel like someone made each and every piece of furniture in here, which is probably the case here. You've got this little pass-through window into the kitchen, which I love, so you don't have to walk all the way around. Just off this conversation area, off your landing of the upstairs, you can walk down 2 halved logs, which make up your steps down to this lower level where your kitchen is. You've got that pass-through window, and it gives you a whole new perspective on the upper half level where that dining and living room is. And I love that you can see just above the kitchen sink here, this picture frame window, you can see the studio. It just has so much mystique to it, and here in the evenings, it just looks magical, really. And now off your kitchen area, got all these little custom built-in niches. The door straight ahead leads to the outdoors and a covered deck area. But off to my right, this is your laundry room, and it really does feel like a cabin in here. Everything, just on every surface, is just wood. And then over here, we have a full bathroom. So that room has another skylight once again. Those skylights are so important. And then here is your living space. So I just love how open it is. You can look straight up to that catwalk area, sorry Tikka, and it's just a comfy, livable space with more natural light being pushed in on both sides. I just love how open they made this. Now off here in the corner, there's a ton of history here in what's called the bungalow. So you'll notice right away when you open these doors how heavy they are and how thick they are. And that's not done on accident because there's 2 of them. So this is the old and original studio here. And really what put him on the map was Neil Diamond. So he recorded his 1996 album, Tennessee Moon, here in this space. And obviously it looked a lot different back then. But if that name doesn't jump out at you instantly, if you've ever gone to any event ever and they're yelling, so good, that's him. So that's obviously a really big piece of history here. And then off to my right, you've got this little wet bar area, fridge built in, microwave, everything built into the studio that is now the guest suite. So this here, you can tell, was the recording studio. In fact, not only do we have those wide, heavy doors, but you've also got the double pane glass. So your engineer, whomever would be back there, and then this is where your vocalist, guitarist, your artist would be. This is where they would be set up. I just love all the wood that we have exposed everywhere, and the fact that we also have these windows that are leaning at a bit of an angle. And it just has this really cool handcrafted feeling to it, because Robin, the owner of Dark Horse Studios and this home, has been here for over 30 years, just adding on to it bit by bit. And it's just so curated. You can just feel the soul in this home. He's just done such a good job. And he was telling me he's done a lot of this himself with his own hammer and nails, which is really cool. A lot of personal touches in this home. But you've got the beds up here, king, just for size reference and the volume of this space. You'll notice above us, diffusing those skylights, and the light that comes through it are these sheer curtains. So this is just a cool, intimate moment on this part of the home. As you can see around us, just all the acreage, and then this really cool staircase that guides you over to the studio, which we're about to go to after we tour the rest of this unit. But you just have these great views, and I love this tilted glass. You don't see this a lot. So he's been heavily inspired by some of the homes and his visits to Colorado, particularly Telluride. So really cool to see kind of that architecture brought here to Tennessee, which you don't get a lot. I mean, look at the archway. This is so beautiful. Just have all these really great moments, and it feels like you're outside half the time. So behind us, we've got tons of closet space, all in this fogged glass, so you can hide everything behind here very neatly. Then you step up to your double vanity. You've got these vessel sinks and this amber tone, and then behind you, more skylights with the freestanding tub and wet entry. Straight ahead, you have the water closet, and just wrapped in that weathered wood once again that we've seen everywhere throughout this tour. And then being used as a towel rack is a curved railroad spike. So I love those rustic elements, and then obviously in combination with all the luxury modern amenities and timber frame construction we've seen throughout this tour so far. I just love that blend, and they've done it here so seamlessly. But now stepping back up, hurtling over Tikka's head, we're gonna step down into where the studio would have been. But first, check out this gravity-loaded timber frame construction right here. So cool. There's obviously some steel pegs in here to keep things together, but a lot of it, if you look around, is just all with these joints and shoulder joints. It's really, really cool. And then you step down right, got amazing sunsets sitting here from this couch in the suite through the sky bridge. And I almost forgot to mention, when you're in bed, the first thing that hits you in the morning is the sunrise. Really cool, special moment. And then, of course, the office space set up right here. So a lot of room here in this guest suite. But now I want to take you guys over to where the studio currently sits, and where Taylor Swift, Shawn Mendes, Jack Harlow, I mean, you name it, they've recorded here at this studio. That's just a few that I could name off the top of my head. And this door is incredible. This was actually here when Robin moved into the cottage. I mean, just take a look at this door. I mean, this was all handmade. I mean, look at the iron, the welding, and then the cedar that comes through, all this dark stained wood. And it's heavy. It's so cool. And this was here, he said, but it kind of acts like one of the studio doors, which is pretty sweet. And now you step out. This is where they've got the gym set up. Now, before we head down to the studio through this covered pathway, which wraps the entire back end of this property, I want to remind you that this is on 10 plus acres, right? So we're a football field, if that, length away from the Harpeth River. So we're gonna mount a GoPro to Tikka and have her run around the property to see what she thinks of it, to get a Tikka POV. So this, what you're about to see, is the Tikka camera. Okay, we made it to the river. Tikka, go ahead, go ahead. Oh boy. This is so nice. What? I
feel like if we lived here, we'd always wonder, where's Tikka at? And then we'd just come down to the river. There she is. Are you having fun?
All right, now we're gonna go up to the main house and begin the rest of the tour. I think after all that running around at the Harpeth River and on the 10 acres here, Tikka's got her creative juices flowing. She's ready to go record her debut album at the studio, right, Tikka? She was talking about some singles earlier. We got Are You Hungry, Potty, and Ball. I think those are her 3 songs she's working on right now. But we're gonna go through this covered area. As you can always travel anytime, rain or shine, to the studio. Here's another little lookout tower, a little hideaway. It feels like a jungle gym here. It's so fun. And this walkway here just takes you back into the property, back into nature. And I keep on mentioning all these little hideaways and these places to get secluded. And here's another one right here. You can imagine cooking up some breakfast right here. Got a picnic table. All these string lights can kick on, and the ceiling fan above us. Just really create a cool vibe with your friends or family out here as you look back on to the back facade of this property. There's wind chimes and bridges everywhere. It really just does feel like you're not in Franklin, Tennessee, because it just feels so whimsical out here. And the sun being filtered through all these pine trees, it's just so pretty. And then up here is another little place where you can walk up, again, become more secluded, write a hit song, who knows? Maybe Tikka can go up there and finish that song she's been working on. And again, that natural stone with all those pastel tones have been carried out here just underneath this little nook. I love all these archways as it guides and leads us to different parts of the grounds and up to the recording studio. I'm so excited to show you guys this. This is where some of your favorite artists have recorded their music. And I gotta just read because there's so many artists that have actually been here. We've got Korn, Taylor Swift, I've already said. You've got 10th Avenue North, Jill Scott, Red, Faith Hill, Rascal Flatts, Luke Combs, Carrie Underwood, Tanya Tucker, Billy Ray Cyrus. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Sheryl Crow, Brand New, Keith Urban, Jack Harlow, Dolly Parton. I mean, you name it, they've all recorded here. Like, it's a really special place. But now I want to introduce you guys to the listing agent of this whimsical property, Jamie Parsons. We're going to explore the studio here. So as you saw, you can walk to the studio or you can take the motor court all the way over here. There's so many places to park on this property as well, but I wanted to show you guys this tool shed. It's one of the most organized sheds, and you can see the cupola on top as well, just adding that extra layer of detail and continue the theme of this home even here in the shed. And everything's organized. You have the cottage, the bungalow, the cabin, west wing. I mean, everything is just super detailed. So you come in here, you've got the exact tool you need for the exact part of the property. But now we're gonna go check out the studio. So as you can see, there's more parking just everywhere. And you're all shaded back here. Just feels like we're in the middle of the woods and we've stumbled upon this property. And look at how many layers this property has. So cool. I've never seen anything like this, let alone it being a studio. It's just like mind-blowing. Now stepping on this covered portion. Got plenty of seating everywhere. Oh, hey, Jamie. How's it going?
Are you Jack Harlow?
Oh no, we're not doing this. We're not. The comments, I can't.
My heart was going pitter-patter.
I can't.
So there's the office of the manager who books everything. And then we have Barefoot Lounge, which right now is the ISO booth for Barefoot Studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There are so many little studios. And how many studios are in this building? There's like 4 or 5, I don't know, like each time you open up a door, it's
there's
like...
2 up here, there's 4 downstairs.
Wow.
One's more of a writing room, but yeah.
And above the island, what is
so
that?
That's the
so cool.
first tower that he made, and he loves towers. You've probably seen them all over the property. And this one, I think it's about 34 feet high. And back in 2002 when he made it, he was kind of like not sure how it would do in the storms because it's the South. We get a lot of storms.
It's weathered.
And it's weathered. It's still here, so it's not going anywhere.
In both terms of the word, you know, it's both weathered and weathered.
Exactly.
So I love all these like post beams again. I mean, it's so cool. And
yeah.
The fact
and the
that,
details. I love like the little plate holders and everything.
I know.
Lots of detail.
That's so cool. I'm seeing a lot of big names in this wall. You got Taylor Swift, Dolly Parton, Carrie Underwood. I mean, everyone, really.
Yeah,
everyone.
Taylor Swift actually recorded right behind you. And don't forget your twin.
Who's that, Dolly?
Yeah.
Oh, Jack. Oh my God. Well, he's a handsome guy.
He is a handsome guy,
I'm not too upset. That's crazy that all these people were in this studio at one point recording or like staying here.
Yeah, a lot of them stayed here as well. So they stayed
wild.
back here or they rent the manor and rent the whole studio and the whole property.
You were saying Shawn Mendes was just here, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Kings
so cool.
of Leon, I think we're here for 5 months or 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I can see why it's such a cool property to get inspired by, right?
Right.
So it makes a lot of sense.
This is where I think the real inspiration would happen.
Man, these vaulted ceilings.
Yep.
I mean, whoa, this is so cool.
I know it.
If I had any musical capability, I would do something here, but...
Pull up a seat.
Yeah, no, I do YouTube. I make YouTube videos.
And also there's a music school, or of course Institute. And so a lot of students there will work here as well, or use it as part of their curriculum.
So cool,
And you get the views of the grounds all over the place, which is great.
Wow.
So walking out of the lodge, we can go upstairs.
And all these beams are so cool. Those are all like, you can see like the axe marks.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow. I like all the
And
little...
those are everywhere.
All the little windows as well.
But if you turn around right here, that's my favorite window. because you could look
That's
in
so
and watch
cool.
people recording.
Just look down on what they're doing.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yep, it's super cool.
And it just keeps going.
It keeps going.
Oh my gosh.
So this is the upstairs lounge, and then when we go up here, it's actually going to take us to the highest point on the property.
It just doesn't stop.
It does not.
This is wild. I mean, he built a lot of this himself, right?
Yes, a lot of it himself.
Wow, wow, wow.
And then if
That's a
you
lot of
haven't
words.
had enough stairs, there's some more stairs behind you to a little loft.
Okay, I gotta go up there. Oh, look at this.
Oh yeah, you could see the tower.
Look at this. You see that lid? How cool is the tower? It literally looks like a bird box. Like a bunch of bird boxes on top of each other.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta do it. Someone's gotta do it. I'm going up. I gotta see what this is about. So this is the highest point on the entire property.
Yes.
But now I'm gonna take everyone downstairs where the lowest level is, where all the Airbnbs and other studios are. There's a lot more square footage even down there. And it used to be
Used to be a barn for his
barn.
horses, yeah.
So I'll meet you guys down there. Now you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit, but this used to be the horse stable where we're standing now, which is more studio space. Back behind me, took a stair set that was just off the main entrance of the studio, full bathroom with more of that Saltillo tile throughout. And then back behind me, there's direct access to a covered patio space. But over here, we've got a mixed use room right here through two French doors. You've got the laundry machine back here for the Airbnbs or other guests that are staying long term. And then also more places to get work done. When you've got places to solder, you've got places to do music in every room. So down these steps, this is Studio Z. There are so many studios down here. So you've got Studio Z set up right here, more of that charming wood grain on the ceiling. And then over here, the recording booth. So a lot of these rooms are going to take on the same aesthetic, but a lot of the upholstery and soundproofing is going to be a bit different. Notice all these columns in here. He actually made all this right here, this spiral staircase. This is all handmade. A lot of this building was actually done by Robin himself. But as you look around, you've got a full kitchen. It has this very eclectic, charming feel with all these leather couches. As you go all the way back here, this is the Raven studio. So they do have a full school in here that meets, and they also have another location as well. But you've got a full classroom in here, and all the windows over here are tilted once again. So that same aesthetic and design is carried out even in the schoolroom, which I thought was super fun. Now I want to show you guys the Beat Factory. I just love all these different rooms and names. They're super fun. And like I've said, it feels very homey, very eclectic with all the tapestries and leather chairs. And across the hall, we have a full bathroom. So this is all obviously accessible and usable for the students or whomever gathers here. And it takes on that same rustic energy. Now heading down the hall, this is where the Airbnb sits. And you're greeted when you enter in this space by Taylor Swift's triple platinum record, which is so cool because obviously Dark Horse recording was a part of that. Tikka, come on. Sorry, we're gonna lose her. There's just under 9,000 square feet in here. Tikka, come on. There's so many people here right now because this is a working studio, so people are actually recording music as we're doing this home tour, which is really fun. So now in here, again, it kind of feels like you're stepping back in time every single time we go in one of these rooms. I mean, look at the curved ceilings, the weathered wood everywhere. It really just carries on that strong theme from beginning to end here. The story is very true all the way through this tour. So we've got a little coffee table set up here. I just love these ceilings. It really does feel like you've stepped back in time to a castle like in Germany or something. But over here, you've got direct access to the grounds here. Again, 10 private acres. And then behind me, you've got a full bathroom. So double vanity, walk-in shower, skylights everywhere. Just a great vibe. But now we're gonna step across the hall, hopefully find my dog. And okay, there she is, cool. At the end of this hall, it leads you to that area where you can walk all the way to and from the house. So if it's raining, obviously you're covered, and there's a lot of cool moments in there. Now we're gonna step into the gatehouse. So this is another one of the bunks in here. So full suite once again. And here behind this door, you've got another full bathroom, as these are all working suites, wrapping every wall and ceiling is with that wood finish. Just really leaning into that cabin vibe. And above, little bunk bed, thoughtful sconces, and niches for your phone or whatever you're charging up there as you sit just above the full bedroom here. Full working kitchen, right? So these are all suites. So if you're staying here for a day or 3 or the whole month, which has happened before many times, you've got everything at your fingertips, whether you're staying here or obviously over at the manor. And above you can hear the drums going right now. I think it's literally just above this room. So you're constantly surrounded by either inspiration out of every window with the nature, or obviously working with your friends. And above you've got the tapestries on the ceiling as well, and a queen size bed, just to kind of get a reference for how large this space is. Even got custom built-ins on the wall here. Just everything has such a handcrafted touch to it. Day bed set it just aside. Tikka, come on. She's guarding the door right now. There's lots of people here, Tikka. We gotta stick together. All right, come on. And here you're gonna notice once again, just all the artisanal touches and just how handcrafted this home really feels. And just the timber frame construction. I love all these weathered exposed beams. And this is, I think, gravity fed. I mean, this is obviously at a bit of an angle here, which is so cool. You don't see that a lot. And I don't think there's a single bolt or screw. I think this is all gravity fed, which is so cool. And again, really leans into that timber frame construction and how they used to build these old cabins and barns back in the day. And this property being like the Hogwarts, but for songwriters, there's so many of these little getaway moments to kind of just be with nature. And as the day turns to night here in Franklin, Tennessee, all these warm ambient lights flick on and this property takes on a completely new look.